Ubaydillah ibn Muhsin, who is Ansari Sahabi. Ansari Sahabi refers to those Sahaba who lived in Medina, and Muhajir Sahabi refers to those Sahaba who migrated from Mecca to Medina. So this Sahabi Ubaydillah ibn Muhsin, he was Ansari radiyallahu anhu. He says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Man asbaha minkum, when any of you wakes up in the morning, when he finds himself in the morning in three status, in three conditions. In the morning when we wake up, we should ask ourselves, what condition are we in? Because Prophet of Allah is going to describe and give a description of a person who has three things or three conditions in him in the morning, then he is a person who should not complain about anything. So what are those three things? So Prophet of Allah said, anyone who finds his morning aminan fi sirbihi, that he has peace and aman within himself. He has no khawf. He has no fear of anybody. He hasn't got fear of enemies. He hasn't got fear of anything around him. And he is peaceful in the morning. One condition. Mu'afa fi jasadihi, number one, he is healthy. He is content. He hasn't got any disease. He hasn't got any kind of illness in his body, in his jasad. No. And عِنْدَهُ قُوتُ يَوْمِهِ, and he has the provision, he has the food for one day. He has the food for one day. Three things. So in the morning he is in peace. Number two, he is healthy. He is not ill. He hasn't got any kind of problems, lung problem or that problem. And number three, he's got only one day's sustenance, one day's food, one day's food. Then Prophet of Allah said, فَكَأَنَّمَا حِيزَتْ لَهُ الدُّنْيَا. It is as though that he has been given the entire world's wealth. He's as though he has been given the whole world. Our teacher used to say that if somebody comes to you and says to you, you know what, I'm giving you £1 million, sell me one of your eyes. I'm giving you 1 million or two, oh, say 10 million, 10 billion pounds. Sell me one of your eyes. Would you sell him? We will all say no. Then how can we say that we are poor then? You got 10 million pounds on you. So Prophet of Allah is saying that if somebody's got these three things, then he is as though he has been given the entire world. He's been given all the luxuries of the world. Only one day's food. Subhanallah. This hadith is in Tirmidhi. Next hadith by Abdullah bin Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhuma. He says Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ. Indeed. Qad means indeed, without a doubt, be-shak. There's no doubt in Prophet of Allah what he says anyway. But when he says qad with it, makes it more, emphasizing that the thing is very important. He said, qad aflaha, indeed, that person has become successful. He has succeeded. Wo aadmi kamyab ho gaya. Who? Man aslama. One who is Muslim. One who is Muslim. Aslama, he has, submitted himself to the will of Allah. Number two, وَكَانَ رِزْقُهُ كَفَافًا. He's got sufficient sustenance, he's got sufficient rizq, sufficient food. And number three, وَقَنَّعَهُ اللَّهُ بِمَا آتَاهُ. And if Allah has given him qana'at, contentment, with whatever Allah has given him. So these three things are needed. One is giving, one is having something, having wealth, having entire world, even if you have. But on top of that, the beautiful thing is, the Prophet of Allah is saying that no problem, if Allah has given you whatever Allah has given you, but on top what you need? Qana'at. If Allah has given you these three things, Islam, number two, you got sufficient amount of food for a day. And number 3, Allah has given you contentment. This person is successful. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ, he has succeeded. He has become successful. He is not from the failed people. He is not from the failure. He's got success. He's succeeded. And next hadith, similar, mafhum, but different wording. Abu Muhammad Fadala ibn Ubayd al-Ansari, he says, annahu, he heard, who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he heard Prophet of Allah saying one thing. Yaqul, he said what? Tuba, good news, glad tidings, happy man, fortunate man. Who? Liman hudiya ila al-Islam, the one who has been called, or the one who has been guided towards Islam. The one who has been guided towards Islam, he is good news for him. Tuba, according to one meaning of Tuba, Tuba refers to Jannah. Tuba refers to Jannah, Jannat. So meaning Jannat is for that person who has been guided to Islam. Number 2, وَكَانَ عَيْشُهُ كَفَافًا, and his aish, his life is, or the sustenance for his life is sufficient. And وَقَنَعَ, and he is content. He is happy with what he has. Then this person is fortunate man. This person, for him, is a good news. Now look at these 3 hadiths and compare this, what has been said in these 3 hadiths, with our life today. And I am sure every one of us, without a doubt, we are well over this mark. Whatever has been prescribed here, all of us, we have more than this. But the thing is, do we still trust Allah? Is our iman, our yaqeen in Allah is 100%? Don't we fear in the morning when we wake up? Is our heart still content and intact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? One day Prophet of Allah, he was eating he found somebody gave him a date, khujur, to eat, and he was eating dates. Abdullah bin Umar, he came, and Prophet of Allah offered him. Prophet of Allah offered him something, that come join me and have some dates with me. So Abdullah bin Umar, he said, La ashtahi. Prophet of Allah, thank you for offering, Jazakallah, may Allah reward you, but I don't feel like eating. He used the word La ashtahi. I don't have the desire of eating. Not I'm not hungry. He said, I don't have the desire. I don't feel like eating. So Prophet of Allah said, wow, mashallah, you still, go on your desires? Your Prophet of yours is eating this date after 4 days. He said, for 4 days, nothing edible or nothing, edible entered your Prophet's stomach. And you still, going on your desires, you don't feel like having it, you don't desire to eat something. But your Prophet of Allah doesn't go on desires, he goes only when he has something to eat. So after 4 days, I'm eating this. And then at that occasion, he said something very important, and every one of us, we are involved in this today. He said, a time will come. That Prophet of Allah who was offered everything. Prophet of Allah was offered by Allah. Prophet of Allah, if you want the Mount Uhud, the 12 kilometers long mountain, will walk with you as a gold, as sona. But do you want this? He said, no, I don't want this. He said, I want to eat one day so I can thank Allah. I don't want the food one day so I can be patient. Then he said, a time will come when average ummati, when average person of my ummah will have the sustenance, will have the food for 1 year, will have enough wealth or enough money or enough food for 1 year to go along. Even then, they will become very, very weak and they'll be scared about tomorrow. What am I going to eat tomorrow? Sometimes when you sit in the houses and your wife or your family gives you breakfast, as soon as you finish the breakfast, the last sip of the tea you put the cup down, then they ask you, okay, what are you going to eat in the night time? The breakfast is not over yet, but you're already thinking for the evening meal. Subhanallah, this is what we see today. So Prophet of Allah said, a time will come when average man of my ummah will have the food or wealth for 1 year, yet his belief in Allah will become very weak. He will be scared about tomorrow. What will happen tomorrow? What am I going to eat tomorrow? What will my children do tomorrow? Subhanallah. Stinginess, our greed this is self-inflicted, problem on us. Sometimes we don't have no problem, but our thoughts are making our life hard. The life is beautiful. According to Prophet of Allah descriptions, we all of us well off. We all have the world with us. Yet, when we see people complaining, just because our preferences, our priorities have become higher. Our expectations have become very higher. And when we don't achieve our expectations, then we think we have failed. My neighbor, he is, mashallah, driving that car. How come I can't get to his level? And then these expectations come. Oh, my so-and-so friend of mine or cousin of mine, he's got beautiful life. And me, I'm still stuck here. Subhanallah. These are our thoughts today, which are making our life, miserable. Our greed, our miser, this greed and stinginess we have failed us. One day, somebody came to Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, Hazrat Ali, I need some help. I'm very poor man. I don't have food to eat. Neither my children have the food to eat. So can you please give me something? So can I buy some food for my family? Hazrat Ali, he sent his son, Hassan, to his mother Fatima. May Allah be pleased with her. And they only had 6 dirham in their house. Only 6 dirham. Make it more easy, 6 pounds. They only had not 6,000, not 600, only 6 pounds or 6 dirham in their house. So occasion like this, we all hold back. So Ustali said, okay, no problem, inshallah, Allah will give us. He sent his son, he said, tell your mother Fatima to give those 6 dirhams which we only have in our house, give it to this beggar, at least he can enjoy his food with his family. Inshallah, Allah will provide it for us. Hazrat Hassan went to his mother Fatima. As a human, naturally she said, Hazrat, are you sure? Are you sure? Shall we give all 6 or shall we give half? So she sent back Hassan back to her husband, ask him to give, maybe half. Because end of the day, he was a human. She thought about herself, she thought about her children. Hazrat Ali said, this is not good. If my child is learning this, he is exposed to this, that when Allah, in the way of Allah, something is asked and we become reluctant to give it, no, straight away you should give it straight away. Now he said, go tell your mother, I am ordering you, I am telling you that you give all 6 to this man. And then she said, okay, no problem. Then she gave the 6 dirham to this man, and he went very happily, he thanked him, and he made dua for him, and then he went away. How much he gave? 6 dirham. Now when our yaqeen, when our belief in Allah is such that after we give, we don't feel sad. Oh, I don't have nothing. Inshallah, Allah will provide. When our iman is like this, Prophet of Allah used to say, when people will trust Allah like the way the birds do. Like the way the birds, they trust Allah. If the humans trust Allah like them, then Allah will provide for them from such sources that they can't even imagine. In the morning, birds leave their nets empty stomach. In the evening, they return full of stomach, without any worries and concern for tomorrow. This is their life. But we, humans, he said, they will have for 1 year's sustenance, yet they will fear tomorrow. So Hazrat Ali, he gave without any fear of poverty, he gave in the path of Allah, then Allah returns. Allah returns. Because if you do a small favor to somebody else, then he thanks you 100 times. He doesn't forget your favor. Then how can Allah forget our favor in his way? Allah is Allah. Then Allah returned. How Allah returned? After a few minutes, what happened? One person came and he had a camel. He said, I want to sell this camel. I want to sell this camel. Anybody wants to buy it? Somebody came to Hazrat Ali. He said, Hazrat Ali, somebody wants to sell the camel. Do you want to buy it? He said, yes, I want to buy it from him. Call him here. So he asked the brother, how much you want to sell it for? He said, I want to sell it for 140 dirham. 140 dirham. He said, okay, no problem. But I'll pay you later. I don't have money now. I'll give you maybe tomorrow, maybe in the evening. This is how strong faith he had. He said, no problem. Whenever you want to give it, I don't mind. I'm not in urgent. Hazrat Ali bought the camel from him, 140 dirham. In the evening, another person came looking for a camel to buy the camel. And he was told that Hazrat Ali has got one camel, a very beautiful camel, go buy it from him. So he went to Hazrat Ali and he said, Hazrat, I want to buy this camel from you. Can you please sell it to me? He said, yes, I want to sell it. How much are you going to buy it for? He said, I can pay 200. I have enough, I have 200 dirham, I can pay 200 dirham to you. He said, okay, no problem. He took 200 dirham and he gave him. Straight away, Hazrat Ali went to the first person who he bought it from and he paid his money back. How much he had? 140. The remaining is 60. In Islam, the minimum reward for one deed is 10. You gave 6, Allah returned 60 to him. He went back to his wife, he said, yes, here, take your money back. He was surprised that within one day Allah paid back. He said, Allah can give more if you have a big heart. This is what Allah does. You see, our stinginess, our greed will ruin our life, will make our life tough. So we need to, these stories are not there just for entertainment, just for smiling. They are there to, build our iman on. Many other, teachings are there. Sahaba, when they used to, that's why they used to say, Kunu mithlana, be like us. You study the life of Sahaba, you read their life, you will cry. What people they were. Kunu mithlana, be like us. And Allah did say, Allah will judge mine and your iman with Sahaba's iman, not my neighbor's iman. Today people say, I pray my salah at least. My neighbor doesn't pray Friday salah, so I'm better than him. We judge ourselves with our neighbors, with our cousins. Allah will not judge me and you with our cousins, with our neighbors. Allah will judge me and you with the iman of Sahaba. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. If they bring iman like you people, Sahaba did, then they are on the guidance. That level iman is required. You see? So we as a Muslim, we should sometimes check our iman. What level are we on? What Allah has given us so much, do we still thank Allah, or do we still complain to Allah? Always be in positive mode with Allah. Positive thinking will bring positive results out. So Prophet of Allah, again, the hadith I repeat, then we judge, and according to this hadith, all of us, alhamdulillah, we have enough. There should be thanks on our tongues 24/7, and anybody who is in need, we should help them out always. Then inshallah Allah will return. What Hazrat Aisha, she slaughtered one goat, one sheep, and she gave everything in the path of Allah as a charity to 4 people. She fed them. The shoulder meat, she kept it in the house because Prophet of Allah used to like shoulder meat. He used to like meat, but he used to like shoulder meat. So she kept the shoulder meat of the sheep in the house, and everything else she spent in the path of Allah. So when Prophet of Allah came back, and he asked her, Aish, he used to love her, so he used to say, Ya Aish, oh Aish, half name, what is remaining from the sheep? She said, nothing but the shoulder meat. What was the word she used? He said, nothing illa katifaha, except the shoulder meat. This is what she said. And literally this was remaining, because everything has gone in the path of Allah. He said, no, everything is remaining but the shoulder meat. Everything is remaining but the shoulder meat. The reason is everything is given in the path of Allah is in our akhirah bank account in the akhirah. And Allah will give it back to you. You will get it back. But you will eat this. There is no reward for eating. You see? So this is gone, but that is remaining for us in our akhirah. How we think is all better of thinking positively, inshallah. So when we give, we should give with big heart. May Allah enable us to, more than hearing and listening and saying it, we should have in our life physically, inshallah.